Now we are getting into one of the Git's absolute superpowers. That's the branches. So this feature alone is what makes Git so incredibly powerful for team collaboration. So imagine being able to work on a new feature without touching the main code base. And imagine experimenting with crazy ideas without any risk of breaking the production. And that's what branch gives you. That's why I told you in the very first in the beginning that you have a superpower, and that's the branches. So in this video I'll show you what branches are, why they are revolutionary, and how they enable 5 developers or even hundreds of developers to work on 5 or more different features simultaneously without stepping on each other's toes. And this is where Git becomes so powerful, and it goes from useful to absolutely essential. Let's explore the branches.
Few years back, I remember personally, when I create a file, I create like final, and then I create final 1, and then final 2, final 3. I keep on creating new files, right? But when it comes here, you can actually save the file in just one name as final, but every changes that you make will create on top of the same file. So that is exactly the difference, and that is why actually it saves a lot of time, it saves a lot of effort. In my personal experience, I would say this example. And then the local repository, which lives on your machine. So this is the copy on your laptop. So you work with your local repository most of the time. Yes. So anytime that we want to make changes, yes, we are going to work on our machine. And the remote repository is something which lives on GitHub. So this is the copy in the cloud. So whatever you have that copy in the cloud on GitHub service. So it's going to be your backup and your collaboration hub. And then the repositories can be cloned, they can be forked, they can be synchronized. So you can make copies. So when I say copies, if you want to copy an entire repository, yes, you can clone it. And if you want to create your own version, you can fork it and you can keep them in synchronization. And we'll talk about more about these actions in a moment, because I personally have asked these questions in the interviews, like what is cloning, what is forking, because they both look same, but there is quite a difference. I'll tell you when do we clone and when do we fork. And everything in Git revolves around repositories. Yes, so you clone, you fork, and you pull, you push. So this is what happens in terms of the repositories, and they are the containers for your projects. The basic Git workflow. So talking about the core process. So now I'm going to show you the fundamental workflow that you will use every single day. Maybe a developer or a DevOps engineer or anyone who is in the field. So these 5 steps are the foundation